My name's Linda Finn. I'm an artist living in Elliott Lake. I moved in here in 1975 with my family, and I've been active with the arts community ever since. Presently, I have a studio outside my home. I'm a painter, a printmaker. I like working in textiles, making handmade books, altered books, assemblage. Printmaking is probably what I've been concentrating on for the last few years. I have been working on the theme of letters that were written to my grandmother during World War I and World War II. And I've taken that exhibition to various venues around Ontario. I feel that artists living in Northern Ontario are able to stay much better connected these days with computer technology and all of the communication aids that are available to us these days. But in my opinion, artists need exposure to new ideas, opportunities for professional development, and lastly, a market for their work in order to support themselves.
My name is Murray Finn. I live in Elliott Lake. In 1999, I retired from teaching school. I had been an elementary school teacher and principal for many years. My wife and I had traveled all over the place and gone from art gallery to art gallery, and I had admired the work of fine woodworkers. So I decided that in my retirement, I would go into the shop and start working. The creative spark grew in me, and I started to specialize in making decorative and functional boxes, usually small for putting jewelry in or puzzle-like things. Well, I had some success. I participated in a number of arts and craft shows and had entered into a few competitive shows, and so I started to sell my boxes locally. It did not take long, however, until I found that I had flooded the market in Northern Ontario, or at least in our area. So I had to gravitate to using galleries in Southern Ontario. Over time, I realized that that became quite problematic. The difficulties of transportation, time, and distance was difficult. For me, this time of my life has become about the creative adventure. It's just filled with joy. Any success that I get is really just a bonus, and that's what participating in this show has been, a bonus.
Tucked away in the far northwestern part of Ontario, the Red Lake District, like the gold mining industry it is famous for, is also a national treasure on the Aboriginal art scene in Canada, having been the home of Norval Morrisseau when he began revealing the woodland art style to the world. With a modest population of under 10,000 people, we are a gateway to the many northern reserves only accessible by air. Our area is also a favorite destination for those who like to fish and hunt. Nearby major cities include Thunder Bay to the east and Winnipeg, Manitoba to the west, both approximately 6 hours away by road. Our Regional Heritage Centre showcases the history of the area as well as the many cultural influences from the First Nations people and the immigrants who settled here. Within the collections you will find artworks from artists like Morrisseau, as well as some of the finest examples of beading available. The importance of the mining industry and the Norseman airplane are also portrayed through an impressive collection of artifacts and multimedia displays. Artistic endeavors are alive and well with 2 regional community theater groups and the annual Trout Forest Music Festival, which takes place each August in Ear Falls on the shores of the English River. Local artwork is on display throughout the region, demonstrating how many of our visual artists take their inspiration from the area's natural beauty and wildlife. Yes, we're remote, but we've cultivated an artistic reputation worth boasting about. Red Lake, definitely more than the rocks we've built our home upon.
My name is Yvonne Miyawasagi. I'm located in Elliott Lake, Ontario. I work with deer hide, moose hide, animal fur, and I make mitts, jackets, vests, hats. I lived in Toronto for the 35 years before I came up here. I was here 1 week and I was put up on a sacred mountain to do a fast. And in that fast, I had received a gift. When I first picked up the hide, I felt familiarity. From there, it just spiraled into what I do. I would like to have a little bit more work to do. When I'm finished project, I wouldn't mind to do another one. But I think I do ask for a lot of money for my work. No matter how much work I put into it, the hours that I put into it, but they do understand that handwork is, it takes time. I just love to do this, and I hope to be doing it for the next however long my hands will allow.
My name is Tim Alexander, and my current studio is in Rossport, Ontario. We are on Nickel Island. I got interested in pottery while in high school and was graciously allowed to audit a summer course at Lakehead University, and that really lit a fire under me. So when I went away to school, I pursued a ceramics program. I have a very low business acumen. I just wanted to do what I wanted to do, and it was just fortunate that it happened to work out that the place I wanted to be happened to be half a mile from the Trans-Canada, and there was a very wide range of taste. There is fluctuation year to year, and we are on the front lines of, for example, the value of the Canadian dollar and all the influences that make traffic across the border either busier or slower. So, the congestion at the border, the need for passport has reduced the flow of people significantly. So I'm seeing a lot fewer Americans, for example. I think the main thing is to balance the need to make a living with my creative interests. When you work in relative isolation, it's important to connect to, other people that do what you do and to open a dialogue.
Hi, my name is Carson Merrifield. I live an hour north of Sault Ste. Marie on Lake Superior in Pancake Bay. I moved back north in 2005 because I really miss the trees, the water, the rocks. I love the bush, and I get a lot of inspiration from it. I'm a fused glass artist, and I specialize in jewelry, and I've started recently working on vessels. I turned my kiln on for the first time in January 2008, starting with my vintage collection, which incorporates antique buttons ranging from about 1820 to 1940. Living in Batchewana Bay has been great. A group of fellow artists and I got together back in 2008 in November for support and encouragement, and have since created the Batchewana Bay Art Guild, and we have presently 22 artists. We developed a brochure this year and had our first art show this past August. We've also been instrumental in encouraging the development of the Visions North Art Gallery in Batchewana. But as individuals, we still have lots of challenges in trying to move our business forward. We need help with what I call my how-to list. How to market our wares, to the public, and how to set price points, because that's a real issue up here because there's not a lot of comparison of what we do. We need help with photography, for applications for funding, for juried shows. This is a challenge because a lot of our members are on dial-up and some don't even have computers. We'd really like to see hands-on workshops in Sault Ste. Marie that could, where we could interact with a real human, not a computer. Like I said, the computer is an issue for speed and accessibility.
I'm Susan Higgins, and I live in the woods a little northeast of Huntsville, Ontario. What drew me here was the landscape. When we were deciding on a place to settle outside of Toronto, we just decided that we needed to be on the Canadian Shield, and Huntsville seemed like a vibrant and exciting, growing little town. What keeps us here is the vibrancy of the community, the beautiful physical landscape that changes on a daily basis. I'm a glass artist working primarily in warm glass, which is kiln-fired glass. I've been doing that since 1988, so my craft career really was developed in the South. When I got into craft, I was quite naive, and I didn't understand the business aspect of it all. For people that are market ready, I think it's really important for them to have marketing education. I attended several OCC conferences in the early years of my career, and I also participated in a program called Uniquely Ontario. Both of those programs were just absolutely important for developing professionalism, from selling etiquette, understanding buyers' expectations, developing product support material, planning production schedules, and pricing your work. All of those things are just so important.